He knows the charisma that pictures need. Although this is the same man who was taking pictures of Ashley at the hospital and acting like those were just amazing, immaculate photos when we all know Ashley has zero riz. Good afternoon or evening, y'all. Here to talk about today's episode of Beyond the Gates. We are talking November 13th, 2025. Kind of a lot going on today. We'll start with Dani and Andre. That was the big question I had at the end of yesterday's episode is why did Dani change her mind to go on this trip to LA with Andre? Well, it's because Dani thinks she knows Andre now, and I guess she kind of does. She noticed in the picture that this is not something he really wanted to do. She saw it in his eyes. So I guess when I thought long and hard about it yesterday, I guess I was kind of right that she saw how awkward he was in that picture, and it was an awkward look in his eyes like he didn't want to go take pictures in LA for Forrester. So she called off the whole business thing. Andre still wanted to go on the trip, but Dani wasn't really having it. Andre did say that Pamela talked him into going on this trip because of how much it meant to Dani. Andre's excuse for why he didn't want to take pictures is because he doesn't have the riz to be in front of the camera. And as someone who is always behind the camera taking pictures, he knows the charisma that pictures need. Although this is the same man who was taking pictures of Ashley at the hospital and acting like those were just amazing, immaculate photos when we all know Ashley has zero riz. So that didn't seem like a great excuse. We also know from Bill's investigation into Andre's background that he hasn't been taking pictures in Europe for a while now. So he still is probably hiding something. I am still hoping there was more to the story, but I'm hoping whatever the twist is in Andre's story, it is good, because sometimes this show worries me with where it could be going and what turns the stories could be taking because of the way the writing can be. We got to see a little bit of Kat today. I was kind of hoping that Pick Me Kat was not on today. I think that's going to be my new name for her. Pick Me Kat ran into Smitty today and almost tried to avoid him because she just had that argument with Martin about Samantha, and she thought Smitty might be upset with her too, but Smitty is the calm one in that marriage. And Kat knows that Smitty is the angel on Martin's shoulders. Kat somehow turned this conversation into talking about Eva, though, to further prove my case that Kat is always the one in almost every single episode bringing up goddamn Eva. Part of the many reasons why Kat gets on my damn nerves. You know, sometimes the Kat stands in the comments will say that Eva's just as obsessed with Kat, but that's not true. Eva's obsessed with her damn mama. That's Eva's damn obsession in today's episode. Still worried about what Leslie's doing all the time. She needs to cut the damn cord. Eva needs to cut the damn cord from Leslie. I get that their whole backstory is that they only had each other, and that's why Eva's always trying to help her mama. But the cord needs to be cut. Eva, Ted, Leslie, and Jan picked up where they left off yesterday, praising Leslie for the money she gave to the patient that didn't have insurance to cover the operation. And this talk turned into talking about Winterfest, where Leslie learned that this year's cause at Winterfest is for Leslie's mom, Barbara, which Leslie didn't realize, which of course means Leslie's going to try and be involved with Winterfest. This is when Eva tried to talk her mom out of still obsessing with the Duprees, which never seems like it's going to cease. Leslie's talking about how she doesn't want to be at the bottom of the pyramid in this high society going on in Fairmont Crest, and that the Duprees are at the top of the triangle, and she doesn't want to be at the bottom. Don't really know what that means. Don't know what she's going to do with Winterfest. Hopefully it's something entertaining, though. Ted went to Nicole talking about how he's going to bring Eva along to Winterfest. Nicole is glad that he's bringing Eva and not Leslie, but Nicole is wondering how Kat's going to feel about that, which is a good question because Ted's still trying to walk this tightrope with Eva and Kat like he said today. He only has to walk this tightrope though because Kat is acting like a pick-me with her own sister, which I called out yesterday. I also saw something on Reddit that explained why some of us feel the way we do about Kat, talking about how the problem with Kat is that she is fundamentally unlikable and she comes across as classist and elitist, and while her observations about Eva are accurate, they get overshadowed by her attitudes. And if you go back and see my reviews from the very first few weeks, I haven't changed the way I felt about Kat when it comes to that. That's the only reason Kat used to irk me at the beginning. I still liked Kat at the beginning before the writing for her got so bad. But I've always called out her classist and elitist attitude. And the post went on to say how a lot of the audience is not going to relate to that privileged brat attitude, and that is definitely where I fall. But there's more problems to Kat than that. She gets obsessed with shit like Eva 24/7. Her whole life has started to revolve around Eva. And I think the writing just needs to get stronger because now I just see her as a pick-me with her own sister when it comes to Tomas, when it comes to her father, and also the comments from the Kat stands. You know, I actually do like how hardcore they go for Kat. I like to see that in a soap opera. It doesn't happen these days. It used to happen a lot back in the days of message boards in the 2000s and 2010s. So it is kind of good to see that. I think they go too far. I saw some post on Twitter talking about, post on Facebook, Kat stands going a little too ridiculous though, which, you know, makes me think I'm going to keep that opinion to myself for now. But I do have an opinion on some of the Kat lovers. But to me right now, Kat being this whole pick-me attitude with Eva, when the people in the comments talk about how, well, Eva slept with Tomas, so why wouldn't Kat hate Eva? But she forgave Tomas in a day. She forgave Tomas in a day. And I had one of the arguments say, well, she doesn't care about Tomas, but she clearly does care about Tomas. She's still trying to make that relationship work. Kat stands might not want her to care about Tomas, but that's where the bad writing has taken her, where she continues to want things to work out with Tomas, no matter how much trash he talks about her with her views about Eva. So once again, I must say, Kat stands, be mad at the writing. Even Eva fans need to be mad at the writing because the writing for her has been pretty all over the place the past few months as well. Also in this episode, we got to see a little bit of Derek and his fireman and woman friends, Liam, and I think her name was Cheryl. I like the two characters here because the actors and actress had charisma. And apparently the Cheryl girl is really, really into Derek. They helped Derek move out some of his things since the guy can still barely walk with a walker. And then the guy, Liam, left, but Cheryl stayed behind and kissed Derek. This was a very fast move on with Derek, or at least I was hoping, but Derek wasn't going for this fast move on. I mean, the girl really came on strong. She's clearly been waiting for Derek to be single and leave boring Ashley behind. She's already a much improved version for him though. She's hot, she has charisma, everything Ashley doesn't have. But Derek doesn't want to move on from Ashley yet. After they started making out, he stopped it. He's not ready to move on yet. He still loves her. They need to get Derek and Ashley out of each other's orbits. I still think they need to ship both of them off the show. But if these two characters are still in each other's orbits, the next few months going ahead, I'm going to lose my shit. Sick of the Derek and Ashley scenes. Ashley made her bed. She needs to lay in it. Today, Naomi and Ashley were once again talking about Derek moving out. Ashley was wondering if she made the right decision. Ashley said she knows she wasn't perfect in the predicament with Derek, but Derek did so much worse. I still disagree. Sure, Derek was keeping the truth that he was getting filling back in his legs, but Ashley and Naomi have been acting like Derek has been faking not being able to walk when that's not the case. He was still in that accident. He was still having a hard time walking. He just recently started being able to stand up. It's not like he wasn't hurt. He was hurt. So Ashley and Naomi for 2 episodes in a row sounded dumb. And then the last thing, which I also kind of find dumb, is that the show really is trying to make us believe that Vernon is cheating with Sharon of all people. Sharon was giving back Vernon's cufflinks today that he left behind. They saw some woman at the bar staring at them, so maybe that woman's going to stir some rumors about Vernon and Sharon, but Vernon walked up to the girl afterwards to talk to her about it. Vernon was nervous to be seen in public with Sharon. I still contend that Sharon's just helping Vernon with something for Winterfest, probably singing or something, so that Vernon can sing a tune for Anita at Winterfest, because in the past we've seen that Vernon can't carry a tune. So that's what I think is probably happening here. But at the end, they were still trying to make Vernon look like he was possibly cheating because Anita saw that he had his cufflinks back that he hasn't had for a while. I don't know why they're doing this story randomly this month, but I don't love it. Overall, today was probably the weakest episode so far this week of the only 3 episodes we've had, and I still think overall November Sweeps has been lackluster. I'm still waiting for the drama to ramp up because it is November Sweeps, but it hasn't quite ramped up yet. That's my diatribe for today. We'll see what transpires on tomorrow's Friday episode. Hopefully not a filler Friday. Hopefully a cliffhanger. Maybe that would be nice for a Friday episode on this show for once.